Some legacies are a crown, others, a chain. From the moment Arissa LeBrock opened her eyes, she belonged to two worlds, the fierce grace of Kelly LeBrock, her mother, and the stoic power of Steven Seagal, her father. Hollywood royalty, martial arts legend, their daughter, the quiet one behind the velvet rope. Growing up, she watched cameras flash like lightning at red carpets she didn't choose to walk. Every smile felt rehearsed. Every headline was about someone else's fame, never her own becoming. Behind those dazzling curtains, the noise never stopped. Yet silence was all she ever wanted. She wasn't running from her name. She was just trying to breathe beneath it. When others dreamed of stardom, Arissa dreamed of something brutally simple. To earn the sweat on her forehead, to earn the ground beneath her feet. She wanted a fight that wasn't scripted by birthright. In a quiet gym corner, far from Los Angeles lights, she found it. A wrestling mat, cold, honest, indifferent to fame. Here, no one cared who her parents were. Here, the only name that mattered was the one written in pain, persistence, and purpose. But every time she fell, she heard echoes of interviews, expectations, legacies whispering her name. LeBrock, Seagal, you can't escape it. Maybe she couldn't. But what if she could redefine it? That's where her story truly begins, not under spotlights, but under fluorescent gym bulbs, where legacies crumble and identities rise. The first time Arissa hit the mat, it wasn't graceful. The thud echoed, sharp, humiliating, final. The air rushed out of her lungs, her pride fractured with her breath. She could have walked away. Most do, but she didn't. She lay there for a heartbeat, staring up at the flickering gym light, and felt something unexpected. Peace. Pain. But honest pain. There were no paparazzi, no headlines, just the sound of her own breath. Her coach, a former amateur wrestler who had no idea who she was, leaned over and said, "You've got fight in you, but heart alone doesn't win matches. Discipline does." Those words became her mantra, every bruise a chapter, every fall a rewrite of who she was. Slowly, the daughter of stars became a student of struggle. Her friends from Hollywood couldn't understand. They asked, "Why wrestle? You already have everything." But they didn't see what everything had taken, her freedom to fail, her right to earn. Weeks turned into months. Her body hardened, her mind sharpened. The cameras that once followed her now had no idea where she was, and in that invisibility, she felt alive. Still, when she looked in the mirror after training, she saw her mother's face and her father's eyes. Legacy doesn't fade easily. It lingers like a reflection you didn't invite. Arissa didn't know it yet, but her quiet rebellion was about to draw more attention than she ever imagined, because the moment a LeBrock steps into a wrestling ring, the world watches, and they were about to, whether she wanted them to or not. It started with a clip, a short, shaky video from a small California gym, a woman executing a flawless suplex during training. No makeup, no spotlight, just raw strength. Someone uploaded it with the caption, "This girl wrestles like her life depends on it." Within hours, the internet found her face. Wait, is that Arissa LeBrock, Steven Seagal's daughter? Hashtags, headlines, reaction videos. She hadn't announced anything. She hadn't asked for attention. But the name LeBrock ignites curiosity like a spark near gasoline. The clip flooded timelines. Some called it inspiring. Others mocked it. Hollywood girl pretending to be tough. And just like that, her quiet sanctuary became a spectacle. Gym doors that were once closed to the world now had flashing cameras waiting outside. Reporters wanted interviews. Promoters wanted her debut. She wanted none of it. That night, scrolling through the chaos, she found herself trapped again in the cage she thought she escaped. But this time, it wasn't velvet ropes. It was algorithms and public opinion. Her coach said softly, "You can't hide forever, Arissa. The world's already watching. Might as well give them something real to see." She didn't answer. She just stared at her reflection in the locker mirror. Her face wasn't afraid. It was ready. Sometimes destiny doesn't knock. It uploads. When the headlines reached her family, silence filled expensive halls. Her mother, Kelly LeBrock, read the articles with quiet pride and worry. "You're brave, my love," she told Arissa, "but the world can be cruel when you stop playing their game." Her father, Steven Seagal, stayed silent at first, but his shadow was heavier than words. For decades, he had lived as both legend and myth. Discipline, control, pride. Those were his languages. When he finally called, his voice was calm, distant. "You're fighting now." "Yes," she said simply. He paused. "Then fight well. The LeBrock name carries power. Don't waste it." It wasn't approval. It wasn't love. It was expectation. Arissa hung up, half comforted, half haunted. Even in support, there was ownership. She wasn't fighting for the name. She was fighting against it, to prove that her victories were her own. That night, she trained harder than ever. Every throw was a conversation she never had. Every slam was a word she couldn't say. She wasn't chasing fame. She was chasing freedom, the kind you can't inherit, only bleed for. And though she didn't know it, the wrestling world had already taken notice. A scout from a major promotion had seen the viral clip, and a message was on its way that would change everything. The email came at dawn. Subject: Opportunity, Professional Debut Inquiry. At first she thought it was fake, a scam, but it wasn't. It was from a mid-tier wrestling promotion, not the glitzy top, but real, gritty, and respected. They offered her a tryout. For a moment, Arissa just stared at the screen. Her heart pounded like a match bell. The little girl who once watched her parents dominate movies and red carpets was now being invited to dominate a ring. She accepted, quietly. No announcement, no fanfare. Just a date, a city, and a suitcase. Her coach told her, "You're not walking into a storybook. You're walking into a storm." She smiled faintly. "Good. Storms don't scare me anymore." When she arrived at the training facility, she was no longer the girl from the clip. She was the LeBrock girl. Eyes followed her. Whispers echoed. "She's Seagal's daughter. She'll quit after the first bump. She's just here for attention." Every word was a weight on her shoulders, but she carried it because she wasn't here to be liked. She was here to last. Her tryout began, brutal, endless, testing every limit, and when it ended, no one clapped. But her coach nodded once. "Congratulations," he said. "You're officially a wrestler. No cameras, no cheers, just that one sentence, and it meant more than any spotlight ever had." Fame doesn't disappear. It hides, and in locker rooms, it mutates. From day one, Arissa felt it. The stares, the side glances, the quiet jokes. Some wrestlers welcomed her. Most didn't. She's got famous parents. Bet she's got an easy contract. She's a PR stunt, not a fighter. It wasn't cruelty. It was envy dressed as truth. But envy burns slower than pain, and she had learned how to live with pain. Each night she trained past exhaustion. Each morning she started again. When her body screamed, she smiled, because it was her body earning something, not inheriting it. She spoke little, worked much. Slowly, grudgingly, respect began to flicker in the corners. But wrestling isn't just about skill. It's about story. And soon the company realized they had one. The daughter of Steven Seagal stepping into combat. A LeBrock legacy reborn. They started scripting angles, promos, posters. She wanted none of it. "I'm not a legacy act," she told the promoter. "I'm a wrestler," he smirked. "Then prove it in the ring." That night she did. Her debut wasn't glamorous. It was gritty, bloody, and real. And when she pinned her opponent, the crowd didn't cheer for her name. They cheered for her fight, for the first time. Arissa LeBrock existed, not as someone's daughter, but as someone's rival. After her debut, the clip went viral. Again, but this time it wasn't a surprise. "Arissa LeBrock destroys opponent in first match." "Seagal's daughter proves she's the real deal." Hollywood's next fighter queen? The internet crowned her overnight, and once again, the cameras returned. TV networks called. Talk shows wanted her story. The same world that ignored her now couldn't stop watching. But fame has a cruel rhythm. It gives applause, then expectation. Every interview twisted her words. Every headline mentioned her parents first. One show introduced her as the warrior princess of Hollywood. She smiled for the camera, but her eyes were tired. Backstage, her coach asked, "Still feel like freedom?" she whispered. "It's different now. The cage just has brighter lights." Wrestling had given her identity, but fame was stealing it back. And somewhere deep down, she wondered if true independence was even possible, when your name was already a brand. The cheers grew louder, but the silence in her hotel room grew heavier. Because when everyone wants your story, you start losing control of your own ending. The breaking point came one night after a live event. She had just won another match, crowd roaring, cameras flashing, when a reporter shouted, "Do you think your father's reputation helped you get here?" Something inside her snapped. She looked straight into the camera and said, "My father didn't step into this ring. I did." The crowd went silent. The clip exploded online. Fans were divided. Some praised her fire. Others called her ungrateful, rebellious, disrespectful. Even her family felt the shockwave. Kelly LeBrock defended her. "She's just speaking her truth." But Steven Seagal? He said nothing. Silence, louder than any insult. Backstage, she sat alone, hands trembling, tears hidden beneath adrenaline. She hadn't meant to cause chaos. She'd just spoken the truth. But in the world of fame, truth is always a weapon. That night, she realized, her biggest fight wasn't in the ring. It was for her right to exist beyond a surname. And when she stepped out of the arena, she wasn't a rookie wrestler anymore. She was a symbol of rebellion, of legacy, of becoming. But symbols pay a price, and hers was coming due. The weeks after the interview were chaos. Sponsors hesitated, promoters whispered, fans debated her every word. She turned off her phone, trained in silence. No media, no appearances, just the mat. Every slam reminded her of who she was before the noise, the girl who found peace in pain. Her coach watched her one night, sweat-drenched and quiet, and said, "You're fighting differently now." She nodded. "Because now, it's just for me." She wasn't chasing approval anymore. She wasn't trying to prove or defend anything. For the first time, she wrestled without a name, only a purpose. Weeks later, she returned to the ring for a charity match. No promotion, no hype, just an event for underprivileged youth. When she stepped into the ring, the crowd didn't chant Seagal or LeBrock. They chanted Arissa. For a second, she froze, not from fear, but from realization. This was it, the moment her identity finally stood alone, and in that simple sound, she found peace louder than fame. The cameras still rolled, but this time she wasn't performing. She was becoming. Months later, an interviewer asked her one final question. "Do you think you've escaped your family's shadow?" She smiled softly. "No," she said. "I learned to walk in it without losing my light." The clip went viral again, but for once, not because of scandal, because people felt it. The calm truth behind the storm. Steven Seagal eventually sent her a short message. "You fought well. I'm proud." She never replied. She didn't need to. Some legacies are spoken, others are lived. Her journey wasn't about erasing her parents' names. It was about adding her own to history, not beneath theirs, but beside them. In the end, Arissa LeBrock became more than a headline, more than a curiosity. She became a reminder that identity isn't inherited. It's earned in the quiet battles no one films. The mat became her stage. The bruises, her biography, and though the world still sees a famous last name, those who truly watch see something different. A woman who turned a shadow into her spotlight. A daughter who didn't run from her legacy. She rewrote it. Fade out. Silence. Then, softly, her voice. Some legacies are born in fame. Others are forged in silence. The screen fades to black.